Hey everyone, my name is Jessica and today I'm going to be doing the BookTube Newbie Tag. So obviously I'm new here to BookTube and I thought what better way for everybody to get to know me than doing this tag. So without further ado, let's get into the questions. Question 1 is, why did you start this channel? And I feel like this answer is pretty similar to everybody else's answer, but to be honest with you, it's because I absolutely love books. I love reading books, I love buying books, I love looking at my books on my bookshelf. I love books, and I love talking about books. But I don't really have that many people that I can talk to about books. I have my sister-in-law who has the same love of books that I do, but she lives 45 minutes away from me, so I don't get a chance to talk to her about them too often. And I'll try talking to the hubby about books, and I usually just get head nods and grunts and yeah, okay, and he's really not interested. So I don't get that fun, like, back and forth conversation that you would get with somebody that is also a true lover of books. So I decided to start this channel so I can talk about what I love, and that's books and reading and why I love reading and what I love about books, and have discussions with all of you guys who share that love of books with me like I do. Question 2 is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? I honestly think that everybody has something fun and unique to bring to BookTube, and that's their personal opinions and thoughts and perspectives on the books that we read. So yeah, I might read a lot of the same books that everybody else does, or I could read completely different books. But the fact is, my thoughts and my opinions and my perspective and the way I share those thoughts, opinions, and perspectives is what's going to make me unique from everybody else. Question number 3 is, what are you most excited for about starting this new channel? And the honest answer to this is friends. It's the friends that I'm going to make that share the same love of books that I have. It's the discussions that I'm going to be able to have with you guys. It's the recommendations that you are going to be able to give me about books that I would never have picked up otherwise. It's just, I'm excited for opening my eyes even bigger to the book world and learning things I didn't know before, and discovering books I never would have discovered on my own. Question number 4 is, why do you love reading? For me, it's an escape from real life. Being a mom and having a job and having to take care of my home, I feel like I'm constantly going. And to sit down and read a book, I'm able to lose myself in a world, and I'm able to lose myself in the characters. And it's like a break from reality almost, to where I don't have to worry about what I'm going to cook for supper, and I don't have to worry about if my dishes are done. I don't have to worry about meeting that deadline for work. Like, in that moment, the only thing I have to worry about are what the characters I'm reading about are going through, and I love it. Number 5 is, what books or series got you into reading? Now, the first books I ever remember reading, like, consistently were the Goosebumps books by R.L. Stine. But if I had to say that there was one series in particular that, like, really got me into reading, that would be the Harry Potter series. I read those books as they were being released, and they're the first books that ever made me, count down to a release date. They're the first books that I ever stayed up all night reading just so I could finish them. There was one time, actually, I remember going on family vacation, and I can't remember which Harry Potter book had just been released, but one of the Harry Potter books had either been released the day that we left for vacation or the day before. So I read it in the car the entire way there, and I didn't want to put it down to go to bed, and I was sharing a hotel room, of course, with my family because I was young at the time. So I went into the bathroom, I turned the light on, and I stayed up till like 3 o'clock in the morning sitting in the bathroom reading that book. Well, the next day, we were driving through the Badlands in South Dakota, and I missed them. I slept the entire way through the Badlands because I had stayed up so late the night before reading Harry Potter. The next question is, what challenges do you think will be the hardest to overcome? And the only thing that I really have for this is just finding a quiet time to film. Like I said, I'm a mom. I also have dogs, and my house isn't always completely quiet, and I'm not the most comfortable talking to a camera in front of other people yet. So I am just going to have a hard time, I think, finding a quiet time where nobody's around so I can sit down and comfortably film videos for you guys. Question number 7 is, when did you start reading? And I've been reading, honestly, for as long as I can remember. I always had a bookshelf in my room full of books. I used to read, like I said, all of the R.L. Stine Goosebumps books. I read the Harry Potter books, and at a pretty young age, I moved on to like my mom's Stephen King and Dean Koontz books. And they're probably over my head at the time. So like I said, as long as I can remember, I've been reading. And I really think a big influence came from my parents, because my parents were always reading. We've had bookshelves throughout our house, always plumb full of books. Nobody was ever, wanting for a book to read. And my parents used to read the same book at the same time. So there'd be books laying around the house with 2 bookmarks in them, and they would fight over who got to read next. And as soon as one person put the book down, the next one picked it up. And I just always thought it was hilarious. But I have really good memories surrounding reading growing up, and I think it's what's kind of helped develop my love for reading and why I continue to read as much as I do now. Question number 8 is, where do you read? And honestly, I read everywhere. I read on my couch. I read in my recliner. I read at my desk chair. I read in the car. I read in the kitchen. Wherever I get a chance to, I read. I always have a book in my purse with me. That way, if I'm out and about and I have downtime, I can pick up my book and start reading. If I'm cooking supper and I need to wait 10 minutes for the water to boil, I'll have my book in the kitchen with me and I can read while I'm waiting. I read any moment that I can. I read most at night right before I go to bed. So the majority of my reading is probably done in bed. But honestly, I read anywhere I get a chance to read. And the last question is, what kind of books do you like to read? Right now, I'm really into urban fantasy and mystery thrillers and science fiction books. I'm not a huge fan of like anything with heavy amounts of romance in it, and I'm not a huge fan of historical fictions. But as part of this BookTube channel, I'm really kind of wanting to expand my interest in books, because reading from 3 different genres all the time, I feel like things start to get a little bit repetitive. I am trying to branch out into contemporary novels a little bit, but I find myself only drawn to the contemporary novels that have like a mystery element to them, or maybe something dark and twisted, or stories more of like loss and sorrow than anything to do with like happiness and love. So like I said, my 3 main genres right now are urban fantasy, mystery thriller, science fiction, but I'm really, really hoping to start branching out into other genres soon. So that was it for my BookTube Newbie Tag. If you have any questions for me that weren't answered in this video, feel free to ask in the comment section down below. I'm really looking forward to start having conversations with you guys and discussing all the bookish things that I love. So if you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe. And until next time, bye.